guys, I am so beyond excited to work on this project. I'm sure you already know what we're working on based off of the title, but we are working on making a quilted jacket. And not any quilted jacket. It's like the ultimate quilted jacket. She looks like a quilt. She's reversible. She's actually quilted. It's the best quilted jacket you've ever seen. I'm sure of this, and I haven't even made it yet. But I just know it's gonna be amazing. And the reason why is because I've been working a lot on it. We have progressed tons since when I started. I haven't taken you through every detail because, guys, that would be the longest video ever. But there is a sneak peek in the corner of the screen. She's coming along so well. More details. This jacket is not for me, although I would love that. It's actually going to be for my sweet mom. It's currently Christmas, or it's about to be. It's literally like 10 days away, and I have so many presents I have to work on, but I feel like every single Christmas I kind of transition through, like, pretty much all of my immediate family gets amazing handmade gifts. I almost always give them something handmade. But we kind of rotate through the amount of time and effort I put into each gift. So like last year, I put tons and tons of time and effort into a jacket for my older brother, and it was his favorite gift. And I am so glad that I put that much effort into it. The Christmas before that, I put the most effort into a gift for my dad. And now this year it's going to be a gift for my mom, eventually it'll be my sister, and then my younger brother, and my husband someday. This is our first Christmas together, so he's fine. He's got plenty of gifts. Anyways, so this jacket, it's for my wonderful mom, and I am so excited to give it to her because it just has all of the details that she'll love. Anyways, I've been working a lot on it behind the scenes, just because it's so many hours, and it's just so much that it would be really hard to put it all in a video, and I think it would get monotonous and boring. There's a lot of details that don't always need to be shared. So we're gonna skip to the good stuff. One other detail, I am planning on creating a pattern for you guys for this jacket so that you guys can make this jacket on your own. That pattern will be sold on my Etsy shop. It's a digital download pattern. I should have it finished. It should be linked down below if you want to go check it out. I have laid out the instructions so that you can make this exact jacket. Of course it can be exact because, well, the materials are not going to be the same, because mine are majority thrifted, but you can make a very look-like jacket even with the exact same quilt pattern if you wanted to, or you can customize it a ton also and do your own, or you can just make it plain quilted without designs and just make it simple. This can be as complicated or as easy as you want, and honestly the actual jacket itself is easy construction. I think even a beginner could totally make this jacket, aside from maybe the quilted part. The quilt pattern that I chose was mega complicated too, just because it's tons and tons of little pieces. But you could even do like 4-inch square quilt instead. Again, like I said, you can make it as easy or as complicated as you want. Anyways, let's just get into what I've been working on. Before I get too far, I would love to share my inspiration for this piece. I always start on Pinterest. Pinterest has always been my go-to when it comes to gathering inspiration. I love to find like multiple pieces that fall into the same category but aren't all the same, and then take characteristics from each of those pieces and then combine them into one perfect, amazing piece, in my opinion. After creating the digital pattern and PDF that I printed out and got ready to make this jacket, I had to pick a quilt design for my jacket. My mom is a big gardener. She loves gardening, and so that was a big inspiration. I chose, in my opinion, they look like tulips, but they might be roses. Either way, they're some kind of flower, which I think is fitting for my mom. And it just worked out so well. It's very pretty. I got my quilt pattern from this amazing quilt book, which I thrifted. I am a thrift queen. Literally everything I own is thrifted. I highly recommend, when picking a quilt pattern, if you want to do something extra like me rather than just plain squares, I highly recommend going to your local thrift store and looking for a quilting book or booklet or something like that, and then picking out a pattern from that booklet. In my Etsy pattern, I have scanned the pages of this so that you can create the exact same quilt pattern that I have made for this jacket. But I honestly highly recommend that you just do your own research and find something that's really personal to you, and that you love. And because why not make a piece that's super original to you and super customizable. I picked this up at my thrift store for $1.50, and there are so many quilt patterns in here, and I just made one so far. I'm really excited to make more and more patterns from this book. But that's kind of some more inspiration was from this quilting book. Because I am gifting this jacket to my mom, I needed to think of things that obviously she would love. And I love how the jacket is turning out. I would totally wear this jacket myself, but it's so my mom. It's so my mom. It's colors that she would love, and the best part is that it's lined, which is really nice. It's lined with flannel. My mom always runs cold. She is always like the coldest person ever. And this might not be like a great winter jacket, but I think it's a good transitional jacket, like from fall to winter and then winter to spring. I think it's a great jacket for that. And even if she just wanted to wear it inside, because it's going to be so comfy, because it's literally wearing a quilt. But the inside is lined with flannel. And the other thing, you guys, how have I not even said this yet? The jacket is reversible. 2 jackets in one. My mom has always loved flannel. She's always loved plaid. And so she can also turn this the other side out. I'm not going to say right side out because they're both right. But she can turn it out to the flannel side, and then she has like a shacket. So you have a quilted jacket and a shacket in one. Guys, it's literally the best of both worlds. So whether you're making this jacket for yourself or for someone you love, think about the things that they will truly appreciate in a jacket, because I know this is a piece my mom is going to hold on to forever. And if I was making it for myself, it'd be something that I would pass down to my own daughter someday. You don't have to put all the time into the world into it, but just like know that this can be so you, or so the person that you love. and it just has made this project so worth it and so fun. I love Christmas, I love giving gifts, I love making gifts. Anyways, let's get into the construction process. Okay, so we've obviously need a lot of different materials for this project. In this video, I'm not going to really go into detail on how to quilt. If you're a beginner, you can totally make this jacket without quilting and just, it can still be reversible and you just have plain fabric on one side and a different fabric on the other side, and you don't have to quilt together squares and all that stuff at all if you don't want to. But if you already know how to quilt, that's great. You can also look up a tutorial on quilting too, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. You're going to need to make a quilt basically and then cut it into the pieces. So this is a big piece that I made. This is the largest piece I made because it's for the back. And my pattern will have all the details for measurements that you need. I'll just tell you how much quilt you'll need for your project. This is an example of a piece that I made for the back. And it's very unfinished, as you can tell. It's just the quilt part, all of those squares put together. The squares are super small though too. Once they're put together, the finished size of them is 2 inches, which is really small. And then there's so much detail in it. But again, I think it's totally worth it, especially for my mom. So I'm really proud. I think it's really, really pretty. So you need the quilt piece. After that, just like any quilt, you need some quilt batting in that, and you'll cut it to the shape also. And you can get whatever quilt batting you want. I went for like a 100% cotton one, just because I know my mom would appreciate that. And it's pretty thin. It's not like fluffy, but if you want a fluffy jacket, you can go for fluffier batting. It's whatever you want. Depending on what size you make your jacket, my mom's is a medium, and I was able to get away with using just a crib size batting. But I think any size larger than a medium, you're probably going to need like a twin batting or maybe even a queen or something like that. They're probably labeled differently, like small, like it's probably crib, small, medium, large, but I would definitely size up to a small or a medium if you're doing a size that is a large or larger. You'll need your quilt batting, which you'll also cut out in your different pieces. And then the last thing, you will need your liner or the other side, whatever you want. So I chose to do a quilted side and then a flannel side. I imagine my mom will more often wear the quilted side on the outside, and then the flannel is just nice and cozy, but if she wants to, she can turn it the other way and then it turns into a jacket. But you guys can do whatever you want. Be creative, make your own designs. Yeah, so those are your 3 layers. And guys, this jacket, after you finish the quilted part, this jacket is so simple. If you're a beginner, I think you could totally learn to do this. If you're intermediate, you totally got this, and above that, it'll be easy for you. So don't get intimidated. You can totally do this. So you'll get all of your pieces together after cutting everything. We're gonna sandwich it all together. So I'm not gonna do a great way explaining this. I'm kind of trying to make this video really quick for you. So you have your pretty quilt. On the back of that, you are going to sandwich your batting in between, and like you'll want to do a lot of work to make it all line up really good and make sure everything's flat and there's no ripples and fabrics and stuff like that. You'll want to put a lot of attention into this part, but it's okay. And then you'll have your liner piece and you'll put it on top of that. So then you have the 3 layers all together. You'll line up the edges super well, pin all the way around the edges, pin it throughout it too, just so that everything lays super nice and it doesn't shift around too much. And then you're gonna quilt it. So the actual word quilting is the action of like melding the layers all together. So it's not the actual like pretty pattern, it's the stitches that meld and connect all the 3 layers together. There's lots of different ways that you can quilt fabric, and this is another thing where like do whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. You could like growing up, my mom, when she would make quilts, she would always tie them. So she would take yarn and just like, I don't know how to go down, go up, and create like a little knot at the top, and she'd just do that all over the place. So you could do that. That's super simple, super cute. The other thing you could do, like it could go from that, from you have your own quilt machine and you just set it up and it does its thing. Or you could hand quilt it, meaning that you create lines with string, just with like needle and thread. And then you can quilt it on your regular old sewing machine. And that's what I decided to do. I did actually want to hand quilt it at first, but I didn't have the right needle, and then I decided I'm kind of running out of time when it comes to Christmas presents. I kind of just need to finish them as fast as I can, and so I decided just to quilt it on my machine. So let me show you what that looks like. Hopefully you can see, otherwise maybe I'll just zoom in, I'm not sure. But I have created some diagonal lines to connect the 3 pieces together. So I started by first basting, which is just like a long stitch all around the edge, just so that they're all connected and nothing gets messed up while I'm quilting the pieces. And then I just figured out how far I wanted the diagonal lines to be from each other, and it ended up being maybe like 3 to 3.5 inches. And then I just created tons of diagonal lines. Maybe you can see it better on the back, on the flannel side, I don't know, but it looks amazing, and it feels like a quilt, guys. I'm so excited to finish this. It's going to be so comfy. I know she's gonna love this so much. I would love this. I'm already like, I have got to make one of these for me. But yeah, so that's what you gotta do. You do that with all of the pieces, and then you're ready to go. So that's how far I've gotten so far. I'm going to finish quilting all of the pieces, and then maybe I'll come back to you tomorrow or something like that when we're actually assembling the jacket. But yeah, that's how far I've gotten, so I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, it's the next day. It's actually nighttime now. It's 8 p.m. which is pretty late, but I've been working on all sorts of stuff today. We're finally going to finish this jacket, and I'm honestly pretty confident that I can finish it tonight. Fingers crossed. That would be so amazing. And the construction process for the rest of this, sorry if my voice is a little weird. I'm kind of getting over a sickness and I haven't really talked much today, and I'm just now realizing at 8 p.m. that my voice is super weird. So yeah, please don't mind my voice. It's because I'm sick. The rest of the construction process for this jacket is super duper simple, which is so exciting. So I'm kind of gonna run through the simple steps right here, just so that you can kind of keep track of like what's going on. Okay, I've got you placed above. My camera's about to die, so I'm going to explain this really quickly. So with all of your sewing projects, I mean majority of them, you want to put right sides together. With this jacket, I am choosing to make this lining slash flannel exterior to be the right side. So we're going to put right sides together, flannel to flannel. You can choose, and this will make more sense as we go, but you choose what you want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew the shoulder seams, and that's it. And so these raw edges will be on the quilted side, and you'll see why after it's all together and looking like a jacket. Then you'll flip these up, and you've got a few things you need to do. We're going to attach both of the sleeves on both sides. Again, do it right sides together, and that raw edge is going to be on the outside, the quilted side. And this is just a stylistic choice for me. Along with the sleeves, at this point, you'll also do the collar, right sides together. And then once you've, let me see if I can make this make sense. Once this seam is sewn and you have your sleeve sewn on, you're then going to sew along the side seam, and then it's in like a perfect jacket form, and we just have some raw edges that we need to finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after that. This is how far we've gotten so far. It's not a complete jacket yet. I still have to do the side seams. We have to stop though because I have to finish some of these seams before I can sew the side seams. And we are finishing those seams with a bias binding. So let me get a closer look for you. So this is an example of a seam that I've just finished. So before, the edge was raw and unfinished like this, which we obviously can't leave it that way. And so I have encased it in a bias binding that I made myself. You don't have to make your own bias binding. I decided to because I wanted to do something that matched really well, but you could even buy a bias binding at the store. I'll have more details of how I created this one, or if you want to get your own in the pattern instructions, but that's kind of what it looks like. We have to finish some of the seams though before we can continue. So like with this shoulder seam, I had to do the bias binding on that before I could put on the sleeves and the collar, and now we have to finish the sleeves bias binding and finish off that edge before we can do the side seams and all that. So that's kind of the next steps. I'm not really going to walk you through that, but my instructions in the PDF will, if you are making it alongside me. And yeah, that's the big thing. We gotta finish off those edges and then sew the side seams and add the buttons, and then it's a completed jacket. I'm really excited with how it's looking so far. I think it's going to be the perfect quilted jacket. I think my mom is going to absolutely love it. So yeah, I just gotta finish off those few things, then the jacket will be ready. I think the next time I see you, it will probably be reveal time. Okay guys, here is the final jacket. It looks amazing. It's exactly what I hoped it would end up being. I think it's so my mom, it's definitely like made for her, obviously. I think she'll just absolutely love it, and I can confirm that it is super, super comfy. It's just like, I have to make one for myself now. It's so, so good. And like I said, it's totally reversible. I had, like, during the process, I had my doubts, but it's just like the most amazing jacket. And I can't wait for you guys to make some for yourselves also. Let's try it on the other side. Okay, and here's the other side. Like I just said, it's fully reversible. It has buttons on both sides, so you can always button it up. I definitely think the flannel on the inside is way cozier. I highly recommend making one of your sides flannel because it's just so cozy and it like literally feels like you're wearing a quilt. But if you want to like change it up, I think my mom will love this plaid option also. But I do see her wearing it the other way more. Anyways, it's just like, it's really the perfect coat. Just for size reference, this is a size medium in the pattern. I am absolutely going to be making one of these jackets for myself very soon because this is just like the best coat ever and I know I would wear it all the time. But more than that, I'm so excited to give this to my mom. This is going to be like the perfect gift for her this Christmas. I have a lot of other Christmas gifts on my list of things that I need to make before Christmas, which is only a week away. So if I can get those done kind of quickly, I would love to get this pattern up for you guys fairly soon, but it just kind of depends. I will most likely see you after Christmas with this video and the pattern and all of that. But I will have it linked down below if you're interested, and if you did make it, if you're watching this after making it, please tag me on Instagram, all the things. I would love to see your versions of this jacket. And I hope you guys love it as much as I did. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.